Good morning students. This is the another example for ecological succession. Ecological succession or biotic succession on bare rock. The various or the series of biotic communities on bare rock is also called lithosere. So lithosere is also kind of xerosphere because lithosere means biotic succession on bare rock. So bare rock is deficient in water, so that's why it is arid region. So lithosere is also called xerosphere. And this bare rock, so this is the bare rock. So the bare rock, the surface of the bare rock does not hold mineral holding mechanism, or the temperature also goes very high during the summer. So in such conditions, the first biotic communities are lichens. If it is temperate regions, the pioneer community is lichens. If it is tropical region, so blue-green algae. So blue-green algae is the first formed biotic community on bare rock. But now we will discuss the various biotic communities on bare rock. The first biotic community is lichen stage. Lichen stage. So what is lichen? It is the symbiotic association. The symbiotic association between algae and fungi is known as lichen. So lichens are the pioneer species and the first formed species on bare rock. And these lichen propagules are settled on the lichen propagules. These are the lichen propagules. The lichen propagules are settled on the surface of wet rock after heavy dew or after heavy rain. The wind-borne lichen propagules settle on the surface of wet rock after heavy rain or after heavy dew. And these lichen propagules they develop rhizoids for their attachment. So what are rhizoids? They are root-like structures. So lichens attached they are settled on the wet rock, the surface of the wet rock with the help of rhizoids. And these lichens, the lichens usually they appeared small sized lichens, and the small sized lichens are known as crustose lichens. Initially crustose lichens are settled on the surface of bare rock. And these crustose lichens they can tolerate bright sunlight during summer days, and they also tolerate excessive colding during the winter nights. So and these lichens they also bring about slow withering and fragmentation of rock. For this, these lichens secrete. For withering and fragmentation of rock, the lichens secrete lichenic acids and carbonic acids. Usually these acids they corrode, they damage the rock, and they bring about formation of soil and moisture. So when soil and moisture is formed, then this condition is favorable. The condition is favorable for the formation of large sized lichens, and large sized lichens are usually known as foliage lichens. Foliage lichens also they possess rhizoids, and the rhizoids penetrate into the deeper layers of the rock, and they also cause further fragmentation and further withering. Hence, more amount of soil and more amount of moisture condition accumulated on the rock. That's why this condition makes suitable for the invasion of next stage. So what is the next stage after lichens? The next stage is mosses stage. Mosses are kind of bryophytes, and usually the foliage lichens growing on the wet rock, they make the condition suitable for invasion of mosses. And mosses are larger in size. They also possess branched rhizoids, and these branched rhizoids also penetrate into the soil, penetrate into the rock, and cause further withering and fragmentation. The process of formation of soil is continuous. More amount of moisture and more amount of soil accumulated in that particular area. So ultimately this spot ultimately the spot becomes favorable for the invasion of next stage. And the mosses also contain stems like rhizomes and runners. And the mosses make the condition suitable for next stage. So what is the next stage? Annual grass stage. Annual grass stage. The mats here, the mats formed by mosses. The mats formed by mosses become suitable for the germination of seeds. Germination of seeds of annual grasses during winter season. Generally, when mosses grow on the wet rock, the surface of the wet rock, they form a mats, sticky mats, and these sticky mats are suitable for the germination of seeds of annual grasses during the winter. And annual grasses, they are angiosperms. When angiosperms, the plant body is differentiated into true root, true stem, and true leaves. And the roots of annual grasses, again, they are penetrate deeper in the rock, and they also cause further fragmentation and withering, and they accumulate more amount of moisture. They also accumulate more amount of moisture in soil. And this condition make the suitable for the invasion of next stage. So what is the next stage? Perennial grasses. The next stage is perennial grasses. The perennial annual grasses are replaced. Annual grasses are replaced by here. The annual grasses are replaced by perennial grasses due to more amount of soil and moisture. And the perennial grasses also have main roots, and the roots again penetrate into deeper of the rock, and they cause further fragmentation, and they accumulate more soil and more. Look, it means gradually the rock become soil and moisture conditions, and these conditions make favorable for the invasion of next stages. Here perennial grasses are replaced by annual grasses due to amount of more soil and more moisture conditions. And their roots are also penetrate deeper in the rock, and the cause further fragmentation and withering. They accumulate more amount of soil and moisture. And this condition makes them suitable for another condition. Then another stage is known as shrub stage. So usually here shrubs or perennial grasses are replaced by shrubs, and shrubs, they are light demanding plants, and these light demanding plants also cause further fragmentation, and they also invite small sized animals, and they cause further withering and fragmentation, and they accumulate more amount of soil and moisture. And last stage is climax community. The climax community, it is in perfect harmony. So here number of light demanding plants grow in this area, and they also invite some animals, and it becomes a climax community. And this climax community depends on their substratum and climate. So depending on their climate and substratum, in some conditions tropical rainforest develops, in some conditions temperate forest develops, in some conditions deserts, in some conditions grasslands. So climax community depends on their climate and substratum of that place. So this is the various biotic communities on bare rock. This is the bare rock. So the bare rock is invaded by lichens, and lichens replaced by mosses, mosses replaced by annual grasses are replaced by perennial grasses are replaced by shrubs, and finally the spot becomes a climax forest. So these are the various biotic communities on bare rock. So it is nothing but lithosere. Lithosere is a type of xerosphere.